Matt Shears, also known as Orcha. Welcome to Australian Musician.
Hi, how you going?
Not too bad. So tell me about your isolation story. Are you with other people? How are you coping?
I'm actually alone now. I was living in a share house, but I decided to move to my studio just before the lockdown. So yeah, it's good to be here in the studio, just alone, and can make as much noise as I want.
Yeah. So what plans have you had to put aside because of the virus?
Well, I was planning on releasing my album in the next couple of months, probably in the next month or two. But I decided to postpone it till the end of the year now. I think just with everything that's going on, it might be good to wait until live gigs are up and running again.
Yeah. So have you got a day job? Has that been affected?
I've only got a little bit of teaching,
Yeah.
which has all moved online. So next week is my first week going to be teaching online. I teach violin and viola.
Yeah. So what are your revised plans? What are you going to do with this time?
Well, just been making a lot of music, and it's actually been a really good time to sort of do a few of those last minute things that I needed to do for the album. So just final vocal takes and some mixing and stuff. But yeah, it's good to have the headspace to actually get stuck into it again.
Yeah. Electric violin is a big part of your sound now.
Mm.
You studied jazz at uni. Was
Yeah.
electric violin part of your studies, or did that come later?
Yeah, so I'd studied a Bachelor of Music Performance, and my primary instrument was violin. So they pretty much just let me do whatever I want because it was a contemporary jazz course and they'd never had a violinist go through before.
Okay.
So I was kind of like telling them what I wanted to do, as well as kind of they were kind of suggesting a few things that I could do, but it was kind of a bit of a flexible course, which was good. Yeah, did a lot of Latin music and jazz, and then started experimenting with effects and stuff.
Yeah. So who were the musical influences that sent you down this cinematic, atmospheric music road?
Well, I guess I've always listened to kind of artists that incorporate a lot of electronic sounds in their music, like the Gorillas and Washed Out, Little Dragon, Tame Impala, I guess, all that sort of music. So yeah, but I guess also I really enjoy film, and I kind of take a lot of inspiration from film, films that are quite surreal and I guess just a bit trippy and strange and weird. And so I feel like violin kind of ties with that pretty well.
Atlas is the new single which you've just released. How
Yep.
long had you been working on that track?
That one's actually a pretty new one. Yeah, I mean, I kind of had the idea about writing this type of song for a while. I was kind of just sort of feeling so overwhelmed and rushed by everything that I was doing as a musician. Like I've got kind of like 1,000 different projects that I'm working on at the same time. So Atlas was the idea that instead of like holding up the weight of the world on your shoulders, like you should sort of just really align your life to be everything that you love doing the most, and then the rest is kind of just like extra if you have time, but mostly to just focus on filling your life with the things that lift you up rather than drag you down.
So, what was the starting point musically for that song?
Well, like all the songs on the album so far, I actually just started with the drum beat. I've written all the songs on the album based off these little drum breaks that I recorded with my drummer, who at the studio out in Warrandyte, the Teskey Brothers studio.
Oh, that's about 5 minutes from my house.
Oh, great! Oh, cool. Yeah, it's that's where I grew up, I guess, as well. So I
Okay,
grew up in North Warrandyte.
right.
So yeah, so we recorded all these drum loops, and then I had like 30 or 40 different drum loops, and just started writing songs based off the groove, which was actually a really good way of doing it because it kind of dictates a lot of the way you write the song and the melodies that come out, the chord progressions and the feel as well. So that was cool.
Yeah. So tell me about your electric violin. Where did you get it, and what do you like about it?
Well, I got it at the start of uni, so it was about maybe like 9 years ago now. And I can show you if you want.
Sure.
I've got it here. So it's a bit of an older model, but it hasn't got any body really. It's got just like a frame. Yeah. And then it's also got 5 strings. I don't know if you can see that there. So the lowest one is the C string, which is what violas normally have, but violins don't. So it's got a bit more versatility to it, but I really use this one mostly for effects that are a bit like extra crazy, like more layers and stuff. I think I've plugged in as well. That's right. So it's kind of good for those effects that have got lots of layers because it doesn't feed back so much as well.
It's a Yamaha violin.
It's Yamaha SV205, I think. Yeah, SV205. So that's a good model. It's been really good to use for all the Orcha stuff. So yeah.
And I believe you use that in conjunction with Line 6 Helix?
Yeah, I bought that last year. I went into the guitar shop in the CBD and, I did a lot of research online first, but I went into the guitar shop and I was like, brought my violin in and I was like, hey, do you reckon I could try out a Line 6? And he's like, oh yeah, what guitar have you got? And I was like, I've actually got a violin. And he was like, oh, okay. I don't really know how it'll sound, but you can give it a go. So it's taken a long time for me to get used to all the interface and the effects and stuff, but I think I'm wrapping my head around it now, finally.
Yeah. So did you try other units before you arrived at that?
Well, I used to have a Boss ME70, I think. ME70, yeah. And that was good, but it was all it wasn't digital, it was analog. So every time I wanted to change an effect, I'd have to adjust the parameter manually on stage. Yeah. So I was like always in between songs, I was always up and down, like fiddling with my effects and stuff, which just took up a lot of time. And it meant that also I could save banks and stuff of like preset memory things, but it was a bit limiting. So with the Helix, I've got it here as well, we can see. Got it here right now. It's just a giant unit, So it's got so many different effects and parameters that I can change pretty much instantaneously, and it connects to MIDI too, so all my effects sync up with beats live and stuff.
Yeah, and for recording, do you use things like the amp modeling and the different mics, that sort of thing?
Yeah, I've kind of gotten into that a little bit, but the amp modeling is better for guitar. I think it's more like the modulation effects and the delays and stuff that work for me. And like the pitch shifters and stuff is really interesting. It makes the violin sound like completely like a different instrument. And yeah, it actually integrates with Ableton or like your recording software directly as an interface as well. So you don't have to run a line out into an extra interface and then into your computer. Just go straight in, which is cool.
Yeah, I see on your list of gear you've also got a Moog Sub Fatty.
Yeah.
How does that fit into your music?
Well, for my EP, which I made like in 2016 and released in 2017, we just had one in the studio when I was there, and I just really loved the sound of it. It was just kind of really gritty and deep, and yeah, just kind of blended with the violin quite well. It was a sound that I couldn't emulate on violin, the bass stuff, and I just wanted to try and get something that was synthy, but I could layer it with some octave violin and stuff, and the Moog was just working really well. So I ended up buying one, but I've given it to my synth player to use for the last little while. He plays it live in my band, and then he's just been using it to record some bits for me.
And your acoustic violin, how does that fit in with your music and your stage show?
Yeah, well, the acoustic's good because it has a really great natural tone already. With the electric one, you have to build up the tone from the bottom up. So, yeah, the acoustic one just sounds great as soon as you plug it in. And I've got like a little um, pickup that's built into the bridge. So it's got a really direct signal. And I play that more for like more softer songs that have got like lots of nice lush string layers and stuff, because the electric one is a bit harsher and a bit more cutting. So I really use that one, the acoustic one, for like more natural sound.
Yeah. Did you have some live shows planned for this year?
I had a few kind of little things in the pipeline, some supports and stuff, but they didn't get announced, and then
Oh, okay.
I haven't really followed up on anything yet. But I think I'm going to try and do some live videos and post them online, maybe a live stream if I can figure it out and
Yeah.
make it sound good.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So have you got your stage rig set up, or you're still tweaking that?
Well, I actually just bought a new piece of hardware, which is an RC 505, which is a Boss loop station.
Mm.
So it means that I can load all my beats onto that, and it syncs up with my Helix as well. So they're like connected by MIDI. So I just bought that this week. So I don't know exactly how it works yet,
Yeah.
but I was making some fun stuff on it last night, and I reckon that will become like my isolation um, set, just the RC505 and the Helix LT. Yeah.
Yeah. So you were saying that the album's going to have to wait, but will you be releasing some more music before the end of the year?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I've got like 10 songs, including the three that I've just like Atlas, Depths, and Reverie that are already out. So all in all 10. So I reckon I should just keep releasing music until we can go outside again,
Yeah.
just one by one, maybe just another couple, maybe one or two, and then hopefully by that time everyone can come and see a live gig, and I can have a party to release the album.
Yeah. What are you looking forward to most after the lockdown?
I think just being able to see some friends again. Like we've been catching up online and been playing a lot of chess, which I've been winning a few of
Yeah.
games, which is good, online chess. But yeah, it would be great to actually catch up with friends in the flesh and just see them again and hang out.
Yeah. So for people that want to buy your music or find out more about you, what's the best place to do that?
Well, you can head to my website, which is just www.orchamusic.com, and all the links are there for all the social media and all the streaming platforms as well, or just head to any social media, and my handle is just Orcha Music.
All right, Matt, thanks for joining us.
Thanks so much.